Sometimes I see some things that make me cringe a little bit. I wonder why we get to a state where we center men above everything else and why everything becomes about attracting this so-called perfect men. Sometimes I feel guilty giving you so much advice. I'm not a therapist, I'm not an expert, I am not renowned, I haven't done any research, and so I feel a little guilty sometimes coming on here and turning on a camera and giving you advice. But the thing is, I've lived a lot of life and I've done a lot of things. I have had the opportunity to do many things that make me happy, and I've been able to travel and see the world a little bit. I've eaten at a lot of restaurants and been through a lot of museums. I've danced on a lot of dance floors. I have praised in a lot of churches. I have done a lot of things. And so, because I've lived some life, sometimes I just feel like sharing what I've learned. I don't have children, and so I don't have little ones who I can, impart my thoughts into. So, at this stage, YouTube is it for me, where I'm able to just talk about some of the things I've learned. And one of the things where I have a lot of opinions is love. I have been in love quite a few times. I stay in love, to be honest. And I talk to a lot of other women, and sometimes I see some things that make me cringe a little bit. I wonder why we get to a state where we center men above everything else and why everything becomes about attracting this so-called perfect men. I listen to the women who talk a lot about hypergamy. I listen to the women who talk about dating down. I listen to the women who say, hey, in order to attract someone, you need to look this way. Or I also hear the women who say, hey, it doesn't matter how you look. It matters what's inside. And to all of those people who are experts in love, I say, yes, you're right. You're all right. Because I really believe that as a man thinketh, so is he, right? And in this case, as a woman thinketh, so is she. And I believe that, I don't want to get ooh on you, but I really believe that our mindset attracts what we experience. Now, that's kind of tough, especially if you've been dealing with janky people who aren't treating you well. But one of the things that I found is that when I've been in experiences with janky men, and don't get me wrong, I am not excusing abusers or saying that anything is anyone's fault. That's not where I'm coming from. I'm just talking about how so many times the experiences that we go through are directly related to how we show up in the world. And I'm really not speaking to extreme cases. Matter of fact, you know what? I shouldn't even talk about you. I'll talk about me. The things that I have attracted, the things that I have personally experienced, have a lot to do with how I've shown up in the world. So in the cases where I have dated folks who have not treated me well, men who have not treated me well, I can trace that back to how I was feeling about myself at the time. And a lot of times I didn't see it in the moment, so I did as well as I could. I mean, what do they say? I have a family member who always says, if you knew better, you do better. I used to hate that, but I am starting to see the wisdom of that line of thought. There are so many things, if I knew better, I would do better. And, we don't want to discount the pressure that we get from society telling us that we have to have a man who's a certain type of man, or we have to look a certain way, or we have to be a certain way. That pressure gets gets tough. And sometimes we accept things that are less than what we want or less than our best. Or one of the things that I find with a lot of women, or I can be, it's me, I'm a lot of women. One of the things that I find is that I will maybe not know myself as well in a relationship. And so I might go into it thinking, oh, okay, this is something I want. This is something I can accept. But then I find on down the line, I get to know myself better, and I'm constantly in a state of doing the work that, oh, shoot, this is not what I want. Or someone will impose their standards on me. It's like, or on us, right? As a society, we'll hear, well, girl, he's got to be over 6 feet, and he's got to be making 6 figures, and he's got to be making certain that he's taking you out every night, and he's got to be giving you this and that and that and that. And don't get me wrong, I want things, okay? I want to be given things. I want to be spoiled. I want all that stuff. But I'm also a realist. I understand that people get up and go to work every day. I understand that life be life, and as they say. And so every day looks different in a relationship. I mean, think about your own life. Every day is different with you. Some days I get up and think I'm a gargoyle. I'll look in the mirror and I'm like, ugh. Other days I get up and I think I'm Lola Falana. So the vibe for every day is absolutely different. And so that, I believe that's true in relationships as well. I believe that the vibe has a lot to do with just what couples are going through. And so this is kind of a love rant, right? I don't have a specific thing that I want to talk about, but the thing that made me turn on my camera today, I was thinking about a relationship, and I was in this relationship, and this guy was just super attractive, super, super, super attractive. And I was feeling a little insecure because I was kind of comparing him, and I was comparing me, and I was comparing like his fitness level to my fitness level, and his classic features to my features. And I was like, I mean, I'm cute, but yeesh, fine. So I was feeling a lot of doubt, right? And I will tell you, I've been spending a lot of time on the social media too, so that can feel a little doubt too. And so I even asked him, I was like, hey, what is it that and by the way, this is someone who's affirming my beauty constantly. So it wasn't like he wasn't saying it was beautiful, but I was adding things up according to this standard that we get fed through the media, through social media, through the media at large, through just our culture. And I was like, so what is it that really attracts you to me? What is it? And he said something I'll never forget. He was like, you know what? At this stage in my life, I want peace of mind. And in our relationship, you bring me peace. And I was like, wow. Now, I'm not talking about what attracted me to him, because there were many things, but I'm just talking about, me feeling kind of inadequate and feeling like I had to be a different type of person. And I was really, I was very touched by what he had to say, because I could tell he meant it. And so I think about that sometimes, where women are knocking themselves out to be a certain type or look a certain way or please someone in a certain way. And to be honest, it has been my experience, my personal experience. I am not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, but it has been my personal experience that men who want you to change yourself drastically are narcissistic. That's been my experience. Typically, a man who is attracted to you is attracted to you for who you are. And I am not talking about, being busted. I'm not talking about, ignoring your health or ignoring fitness or ignoring sort of good behavior in terms of treating people well and treating him well. I'm not talking about that. I am just saying that sometimes we put undue pressure on ourselves, and we project our insecurities about what a perfect woman should be on the men that we love, and we punish them because we don't feel like we measure up to this perfection, right? And isn't that, imagine putting all this pressure on a person because you don't feel worthy of love. And so, one of the things that I've done, and I'll encourage you to do it, is to do the work. Do the work to feel worthy, whether it's at work, whether it's in your family, whether it's in love. And I know that we all have trauma. I know that we all have pain. If you can't afford a therapist, then go to YouTube University and find some really good sound content that can coach you into being, who you are. Matter of fact, I'll put some resources like right below in terms of some resources that have been helpful to me. Just do the work so that you can have the life you want and the love you want. And like I said, I know I'm just rambling about love. I don't have a particular point here. You know what it is? I just want you to be your best. I don't know who made me the Harriet Tubman of self-growth, but I want you to be at your best. I want you to have what you want to have. And I don't know why that desire is in me. Perhaps it's connected to my purpose. Maybe that's part of my gift. I don't know. But I want you to be the best you that you can be, because I'm trying to be the best me I can be. I'm working on it. I am trying to be my most authentic self and my most beautiful self and my most, all the good selves. I'm working on that. So anyhow, I gotta go to work. So I'm gonna stop rambling. But until I talk to you again, I hope that you will be authentically you, because I will always be authentically Ru.